after I had my son, I was actually staying at a hotel right up, and that's where I had him. And then I was stuck where to go afterwards because we spent all our money on staying there, and it went by fast. And then I joined a group on Facebook. It's called Minnesota Blessing, and they recommended me Ruth's house.
There are so many ways for somebody to become homeless, and it can happen to anybody at any time.
I had always worked in social services. I had been a special education teacher, so I have done case management before. But actually being in a place where you are working with homeless people and it's because of whether domestic violence or anything, it really changes your perception of how things are. And, coming from a small town in rural Maine, you didn't see homeless people like you do in Minnesota. I think this is why I still do it, is everybody has their own story of why they became homeless or how they became homeless. And you're part of that, planting a seed to help them grow. And sometimes that's just being a good listener and listening to their stories. And other times it's just advocating for them. A lot of people have never had an advocate for themselves. And I think Ruth's House probably does one of the best jobs of having staff that advocate for residents, whether it's for housing, whether it's for county benefits, whether it's for anything.
There's such a need for housing, and sometimes we have to turn people away because our waiting list is full. And I'd like to be able to see that expand to more beds.
Hi, I'm Audrey and I'm a case manager at Sarah's House in Northfield, Minnesota. At Sarah's House, we come along and walk next to the women as they continue their sobriety journey. Something I love about Sarah's House is that it not only provides a home that is safe and welcoming for women as they transition back into the community, but it provides them with a family as well. Something I love about Sarah's House is seeing how women build relationships with other residents, and they do life together, support each other, and do things such like cooking and sharing meals together.
I was a recent resident of Ruth's House. I currently have just moved into my own place. I was at Ruth's House for about 8 months. Into my early adult years, by age 23, I did have my own home. I worked 2 jobs, and in that time I got into an abusive relationship. And after that relationship, I got into addiction. I am a recovering alcoholic. I went to treatment this year for about 5 months, and by the grace of God, I found Ruth's House in that process, and I called to see if me and my kids could move in. Scary not knowing if I was going to have a place to go after completing my treatment. And so coming into Ruth's House, I was scared, and eventually the strangers I met there are now my family.
I've been with Ruth's House for over a decade. I love the fast-paced action of the house, people that donated things, the other staff, the residents. I was pretty much hooked. We had a mother who was running away from domestic violence, and she hadn't slept for 2 days, and I showed her her room upstairs, and she broke down crying because she had her own room with a lock on it, and she slept a lot during the first couple days. And she came into the office and she said, "This was the first time in months that I have felt safe enough to even want to sleep a whole night." And so she was just so grateful for this place. And I really knew from then on that I was going to meet a lot more people that needed what we do here. We have so many more volunteers now, so many organizations that help to donate, handymen, people that just come in and do stuff for us, work with the children or work with the clients. Without the community, I don't think we'd be able to keep our doors open to continue to help people.
There's just so much we do in a day. Sometimes it's just like you sit back and you go, wow, we did a lot today, you know, and I sometimes say it to the resident once we're done working, like, we accomplished a lot today, and it's a good feeling to know that we've accomplished this and they've accomplished this, because you know, most people that come here don't have that opportunity. So this is really a point for them to feel that success, and then that from there grows their self-esteem.